From Bay to Blocked, a tragic story of how we went from friends, to good friends, to living together, to her cheating. Posted by Discord 616. If you like these stories and want to see more, please like and subscribe. I fell in love with a girl. We ended up living together. Everything was great. She got a job at an aquarium. Met someone named at the aquarium, just a friend, she said. We ended things because she said it wouldn't work long term, and I respected that. Couple of weeks go by. I find out she cheated on me with that same guy. Watching her text those things to him, saying he's sexy and she misses him and how they are planning their future together, all the while she's sleeping in my bed, being intimate with me, going grocery shopping with me. It drives a man absolutely off the grid. I can't sleep, can't eat, it's dramatically affecting my schoolwork and job at Amazon delivering packages. I need to move on. I just don't know how. I've been hanging with friends and family. I keep telling myself it will be okay. It makes me physically ill. I tend to abuse alcohol as well to help me sleep. I also keep thinking that their relationship is toxic and will end badly, and I hope it does. We had it all. Now I'm blocked from ever speaking to her again. What makes me even more upset is that she never admitted it and said, "Yes, I cheated on you." She thought she could get away with it, and I found out. I hope the reason for her not wanting to talk to me is because of the guilt and shame I hope she feels for the rest of her life. My brain is so torn, I literally have tried everything to contact her, and it's hopeless. So do I move on? And if yes, how so? I worked my ass off for our relationship in our condo, and she stabbed me in the heart. Thanks for reading. Our girlfriend of 2 years cheated on me with a coworker, and I found out after we broke up mutually for disagreeing on the future. And now for the top comments. You need to learn to respect yourself and save yourself. Cheating is a form of abuse, so in theory, people need to get out from any kind of abuse, including cheating. But if you want to stay, I guarantee 100% you will be cheated on again in the future, so my suggestion is to leave her. Making new hobbies and friends to forget her may help. And now for our next story. I had a 9-month affair with a married mother. Posted by Tangerine. Spirited 112. Small disclaimer, I make no claims to be a good person or want to pretend I was fully justified. I should have waited until she got divorced, but also, I don't regret anything. We started talking in January after I started working at the same store as her. I'm calling her Mrs. Robinson. I knew she was married but was also under the impression they were getting a divorce. I know I should have ended it when I found out she wasn't going to leave her husband, I'm calling him Dick, but after 2020 I didn't want to be alone. In February, he took over her Snapchat account and started messaging me there pretending to be her. He's done that to other people that we worked with in the past, and I knew it was him because Mrs. Robinson told me he took it over. Granted, I was drunk and was egging him on, but I think this conversation with Dick is what made me not feel bad about the affair. I made a small dig about Trump, which made him go on a tangent like the bad thing I did was say something bad about Trump. In the same conversation, I said Dick was lucky to be with Mrs. Robinson and kept saying how sexy and beautiful she was, but that just made him angry and went off on how he has an amazing body, and he could be with any woman. In future conversations, he would constantly say how he's hot, and Mrs. Robinson will end up alone because she is not attractive or isn't as hot as him. I worked at the store until around April or March. I transferred because Dick kept messaging coworkers, and I knew I needed to leave the store to avoid him coming in and making a scene if he knew I also worked there. Ms. Robinson and I stayed together still, despite me moving stores. So I need to point out, I did not talk to her kids, they were still married, and that would be more inappropriate than the affair emo. That said, in July, Dick ended up texting my underage younger brother, and that did set my blood to boil. My brother blocked him, but a week later, Dick used his young daughter's phone to text my brother again. I ended finally calling to tell him to F off. After he got my number, he started messaging me, and it was a lot of how great he is, how I suck at sex, and how a lot of misinformation about what he thinks happened between her and myself. All that would be fine and understandable, but then he started telling me about the other girls he's had, and sent me a picture of girl in a bikini, and told me to send him pictures of my past relationships. TLDR, I'm not saying a good person, but every time I talked to Dick, he would be verbally abusive towards his wife and started harassing people who didn't know about the affair. And now for the top comments. Dick isn't the ass here. All three of you, Ada. Husband for being a douchebag. Wife for not leaving his controlling ass. You for staying when you knew she was not leaving husband. Emo, the husband sounds like a craphead. To be honest, the fact that he used his own daughter's phone to go after a kid is honestly a shut thing to do. That lady needs to get out of there for her own sake, at least. What you did is a bad thing, having a relationship with a married woman, but a lot of your story, like how it started and how the husband came to know that it was you, was left out. And now for our next story. Boyfriend keeps cheating on me. Posted by Fancy Bunch 7873. My boyfriend of 3 years has been emotionally cheating on me since we started dating his ex, who cheated on him multiple times. About 6 months into our relationship, I found out that he was secretly messaging her, and one night while he was away for travel, he was FaceTiming her telling her bad things about me and that he missed her. I figured they had a long history, so I would forgive. I would also catch him looking at her pictures he had on his phone. He would also refuse to delete her nude pictures that she sent him. I even went ahead and moved 3 states for him and his career, and still to this day, I keep catching him secretly messaging her even after I told him I did not like it. Last week I found that she sent him over 10 pictures of her with her cleavage all on display, and I noticed he had her number saved under his boss's name and had her notifications muted. When I called her to confront her, and she started calling me names, I went ahead and told her things I knew would hurt her core, and he got so mad at me because I made her cry. Is it just me, or why do I feel like he's still in love with her? Whenever I confront him, he just says it's not what it seems and that I'm taking everything to the extreme. Am I just crazy? And now for the top comments. You keep forgiving him. You are literally enabling his behavior. Just leave. It kind of seems like he's still dating the ex, and Op is just getting in the way. He's fracking playing you, sister. Leave this mess. He's been lying and deflecting this whole time. Face this horrible truth, he's basically using you. He still has the hots for her, whether or not he's in love with her. That's not relevant. What's relevant is that he's disrespecting you, and you're allowing it. He's crossing boundaries that you don't uphold. He's not the one, sweetheart. Leave and block, and don't look back. You deserve to be number one. And now for our next story. I need some opinions on the matter of infidelity and cheating. Posted by MindoverXMatter. So I've been with my boyfriend for over 2 years now, and we live in his family home to save money. I found out last year he was on all sorts of dating sites, messaging all sorts of women and exchanging naked pictures with one another. He would text these women while at work or while I would be asleep. I found out and was truly hurt. He had told me it was because he needed to feel a connection and felt neglected. We worked it out, and I forgave him. I've caught him texting other people again recently, and when I confronted him, he told me he believes he has a sex addiction. When I looked through the messages, I came to realize he's been on all sorts of sex and dating sites for pretty much our entire relationship. He mentioned he would be changing and go to therapy, etc., but I've yet to see him actually find a therapist or make any real changes. Is it dumb of me to believe he may actually have a problem, or do you think something such as sex addiction was used as an excuse for him to do it again? And now for the top comments. My gut tells me he is just using those as excuses to get what he wants. He is also putting the blame on you, which is standard deflecting and projecting. Anything but him is at fault. I think, fool me once, shame on me, etc. applicable here. Sure, the first time, benefit of the doubt, but if you forgive him again, you are signaling a pattern to him that it is okay what he is doing. Your decision ultimately, but I say, kick him to the curb before this becomes a routine that, or set a deadline for therapy if he is so convinced of his addiction. What's your say on this? Do you have a similar story? Comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.